Forgiveness. The free therapy your soul didn't even know it needed. So stop dragging around your emotional baggage and lighten up a little bit. Let's get into it. A grudge is like walking around with this backpack full of bricks. Or it's like traveling through an airport with that suitcase, but one of the wheels isn't working. You can do it, but it's tough. And inside that suitcase is the weight of anger, resentment, and go ahead and just throw in a brick of spite. So how many families have been ripped apart by resentment? How many businesses have been torn apart because of a grudge? How many wars and people have died from resentment? I mean, the Crusades are a classic example. You can count on the second and third crusade just being out of spite, out of a resentment. And by the way, the Crusades are still going on today. So how do you get rid of this invisible curse that's just following you around? Well, the simplest and hardest thing to do is forgiveness. That way you're able to drop that backpack full of bricks. You can let go of that suitcase. Now you're not excusing bad behavior at all. Let's just get that up front. What you're doing is you're not letting whoever or whatever this thing is walk through your head with 30 feet. So carrying around a grudge is like you've learned how to walk comfortably with a limp. What forgiveness does is it takes the thorn out of your shoe. The other thing is forgiveness isn't for the other person, unless it's for like a family member. Because when you have a resentment for a family member, you're going to run into those people a lot, especially during the holidays. Unless they live, across the country. So forgiveness isn't this just hooey-cooey feel-good idea. Because holding a grudge has a neurological effect. It creates hormones, especially cortisol. What does cortisol do? It gives you high blood pressure. It stops you from sleeping well. You gain weight. You're easily bruised. It's the opposite of being spiritual. What does that mean? What is spirituality? Well, spirituality breaks down to be happy, calmer, more at peace. What does cortisol do? Well, it makes you depressed, irritable, anxious, cranky. Pretty much the opposite. So forgiveness can activate your pleasure centers. Those are the centers that light up, like when you have chocolate, or when you're holding this really cute puppy, or when you're getting a really strong hug from someone you really, really like. That lights up your feel-good centers. What it does is it creates, again, that magic unicorn, sunshine elixir, serotonin. Forgiveness does is it smoothes out the edges. It's like sandpaper. So the grudge is no longer this sharp thing hurting you every time you think about it. Every time you think about them or the institution that hurt you. It smooths this all out. And it's all nice and hooey-cooey to talk about, yeah, just forgive them. Well, how do you do it? What's the practical way to let go of resentment? So there are several different ways. One of the ways is you can write this letter, a scathing letter, everything that you think about them, everything they did to you, real or imagined, and you read the letter out loud. It can just be something simple or it could be elaborate. It's up to you. But after you read this letter, what I want you to do is either rip this letter up or go to a safe place and burn it. That way, the resentment gets away. And now you might have to do this several times. Another way to do this is called the empty chair resentment. So what you do is you get yourself in a chair, and right across from you, you get another chair. You place that person in that chair, and you tell them, again, no holds bar, everything they did wrong to you and how it made you feel. Again, it could be as long as you want or as short as you want. But when you're done, you're going to visualize this person saying they're sorry, please forgive me, and then they're going to fade away. Now, one of the last techniques is a challenging technique. It requires you to pray for that other person. I know. How do you pray for these bastards that harmed you? You'd rather throw a Molotov cocktail at them than send them good wishes. But you see, fear/hate cannot reside in the same space as love. Now here's how you can get over this, praying for this other person. Your subconscious mind knows nobody but yourself. So what you're going to do, you're going to pray for them, knowing that you're actually praying for yourself. So you wish for them every single thing you wish for yourself. Abundance, prosperity, creativity, high vibration, whatever it is. Having anger towards somebody is like holding a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at them. But the only one that gets burned is you. Forgiveness is like dampening that crappy song that keeps playing in your head over and over again every time you think of that situation or that person. It's like doing soul surgery on yourself. That's what forgiveness is. It's like, again, when you have a resentment, it's like you're drinking this poison, but you're hoping the other person dies. And the best antidote for that poison, you guessed it, it's forgiveness. So if you've watched this far, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe. If you've gone through a resentment and you got over it, leave that in the comments.